there. Whoop, Zay Flowers balls it out. May have saved the game. So, Nick, who deserves more credit, Mahomes or the defense?
Well, they're a team, is the thing. And this is what no one would acknowledge all year. And it was one thing for all of the FS1 personalities who were asked on our fun TikTok video to pick the Ravens. That's fine. They were the favorites. They were the best team. They had the best resume. And we decided to do a cool thing in NFL analysis this year, which was pretend like this was the first year the NFL existed. And God forbid we trust the best coach, the best quarterback in the team with all the history. Where it was just, nope, we have to act like no games had ever been played before September of 2023. But that's fine. But even under those auspices, it wasn't that everyone was picking on this network and other networks, the Ravens. It was the scores. Do you know how many people I saw 31-27, 38-24, 30-20? I understand not everyone has Sunday ticket. I imagine most commentators do. Are you aware of what the Chiefs defense is? And if you weren't watching them through the regular season, did you watch them play the two of the three highest scoring teams in football going in the AFC in the playoffs, Miami and Buffalo, going into this game and what they did to them? And I tried to tell you guys. We'll show you the second half for now the last 2 months if we can. What have they done? Kicked everybody's ass on that side of the ball. And Miami was an excuse because it was cold. And Buffalo, the reason they didn't score is because they were missing linebackers. And the Ravens, I'm not sure what the answer is going to be, but I'm sure someone will make something up. Instead, the Chiefs, who had a vision, we are going to take a few steps backward on offense to take 30 steps forward on defense. It went exactly according to plan defensively. People acted like it was make-believe. And then there's the Mahomes side of it, who is simply, for this team in particular, the perfect playoff quarterback. Because, Brou, he can make those 3 plays we showed you, but he also, as we showed you in the previous graphic, 6 straight games without turnover, all-time postseason record. What are the Chiefs when they don't turn the ball over? The answer is pretty much unbeatable. This season, they have 1 loss when they don't lose the turnover battle, and that turnover was a pick 6 in week 1, so that's kind of 2 turnovers.
Right.
In the last 5 years, if Mahomes doesn't turn it over playoffs and regular season, they're 25-1. So Patrick, even though you know what? I will, in the second half of this game, sacrifice some of my numbers and throw the ball away or go down. He got sacked for the first time all postseason. So it is a perfect combination, which is why, and we've got to drop a banner for the defense if we could, please, because the defense, I really hope the banner comes down eventually. If not, we can, there we go. The defense makes fools of offenses and pundits. And then if we can, Brou, drop a banner for Patrick Mahomes, because Patrick Mahomes is quite simply the perfect playoff Oh, my goodness. What does that say, Wilds? I didn't even realize it. Practice makes perfect. Because you know why? Oh, gosh darn near they were practicing for this moment, for this gauntlet, to play Miami, Buffalo, and Baltimore. To have a perfect game plan against Buffalo and then a perfect game plan against Baltimore. How do you do that? If you spend all year practicing so you can then be perfect in the biggest moments.
I don't know if I'm giving that one a category 2. It's good, though.
He can say what he wants today. You can gloat. You deserve to gloat. I'm not sure where you're at. I don't know if you're with them or not.
Basically right there. It's like
you
1 and 2.
can gloat. So your answer is just both. Yeah. I mean, that's why I said on the call it's a tough question, because the defense was great. If I have to pick, I will say Mahomes. Again, I don't want to slight the defense at all. But Mahomes, remember I said last week if he wins this game, there's going to be a mystique about him where teams are just like, I mean, he won this game without his all-pro center, without Willie Gay at upper guard, without his Willie Gay, the linebacker, in a year where they hadn't been good. In a year where the offense hadn't looked good, their first 2 series, it was like the old offense.
Yep.
And that's what shook the Ravens. And that mystique, which I thought would be there now, was there before the game. Maybe not quite before the game for the Ravens, but once they saw those 2 drives, it was like you were talking about last week, Buffalo changing stuff because the threat of Mahomes.
Yes.
They changed their whole – I hope they changed their game plan, because if you went into the game like we're going to throw 40 times essentially with Lamar and not run the football, then that was a crazy game plan. So I would go with Mahomes just because his persona, who he is, what he's done, made the Ravens forget their identity. But the defense, nothing but
I think that's a really smart, because you're basically saying part of the Ravens' offensive struggles was the specter of Mahomes staring across the field.
Yeah.
And I think that's probably right. I think that had him shaken up to a degree beforehand.
All right, let's turn our attention to Lamar. 272 yards through the air, but fumbled and threw a ball into triple coverage in the fourth. Here he is after the game.
I'm not frustrated at all. I'm angry about, losing. We're a game away from the Super Bowl. We've been waiting all this time, all these moments for an opportunity like this, and we fell short. But I feel like our team we're gonna build. This offseason we're gonna get right, get better, grind, and try to be in this position again, but on the other side of victory.
Okay, Brou, how much of this is on Lamar?
Well, interestingly enough, Lamar and I have had a similar experience this year. I had a great regular season in predictions. Broke the upset alert record.
Oh, did.
Excellent.
Playoffs has been another story.
Yeah, upset alert's been tough. Yeah.
So, look, the coach. I thought Andy Reid and Steve Spagnuolo coached circles. And I think John Harbaugh is a great coach, got nothing but respect for him and his staff. But they got out-coached dramatically, all right? The defense obviously picked it up. I think the Chiefs' last 8 or 9 possessions,
Punts.
they had
All
3,
punts.
and a field goal and a bunch of punts. So the defense stepped up, and let's face it, if the Ravens had won this game, however they won it, Lamar would have got the most credit. That's the whole season for Lamar. That Lamar, he's going to win the MVP, even though his numbers are not MVP numbers, because they won. And I'm not saying he wasn't great and didn't deserve it, but his numbers, he got all the credit essentially.
That's right.
And so if he gets all the credit, I have to give him the lion's share of the blame. You mentioned the 2 turnovers. He was bad yesterday. And here's what I want to say to Lamar, in trying to be such a pocket passer and prove to everyone he's a pocket passer, I think he's forgotten what he does best, or at least what one of his incredible attributes is, and that is running. Now, to me, he runs like the other quarterbacks. Sure, he's more shifty and quicker, but he runs as a last resort or just to slide.
As a weapon.
So like that, right, he doesn't use it the way he does. I think we have a video of his first run where this is 4th down.
Yeah.
He runs for 20. Now, in the old days, a couple years ago, I think Lamar tries to run away from Snead. Go outside and just use your speed. I don't know that he could have run away from him, but I thought Lamar was he's looking back like, I'm not trying to break this and take it to the house. And that is a big part of Lamar. And I thought yesterday, Nick, he should have scrambled more.
Yeah.
He was biding time, looking downfield, and your defensive backs were so good. Nobody's open. So run.
Yeah.
And I think that he's got to find that happy medium between, yes, I'm a pocket passer, but I know I can run better than any quarterback in history, so let me use it.
I also think that play made me think he's not quite as fast as he was.
Yeah, I don't know that he could have run away
I
from
don't think he
Snead.
could now, but it feels like as a rookie, he definitely, or second year, and so
Right.
just maybe just a tiny, tiny bit not as fast. But it's a weird spot because I'm rooting for the Chiefs, believe it or not. I don't wave pom-poms, but, I have my rooting interests. And we're playing the team with the MVP at quarterback, and I was like, just turn this into a downfield passing game. And going into the game, and it's not because he can't do it, but it's because the rest of it is so much scarier. Right. And because the Chiefs, to be fair, I trust the Chiefs corners. But for Lamar, those ghosts of playoff pass now, these 2 graphics I'm going to show you are going to be jarring. Every year of his career that he's made the playoffs, their season low in points, we can show it to you, came in the playoffs.
Tricky.
So that's 100%. Brady, had happened to him 5 times in 20 postseasons. Peyton, had happened 4 times in 16. Josh Allen, it's happened once in 5. Patrick's happened once in 6, the Super Bowl against Tampa. For Lamar, every single year. And then you have this. The Ravens never get rolled in the regular season. So that is twice in 77 games in the regular season, he's never had a lead. And 4 out of 6 times in the playoffs. So that is, and Brou, I don't know where I felt, and we both said, he needed the one awesome playoff performance, and that monkey's off his back. This game was so odd because his overall numbers are not terrible, but watching it felt like he made a bunch of big mistakes and they were stuck on 7 for so long.
Yeah.
It feels like it jumped right back on his back to a degree, and it feels like the MVP award ceremony is going to be a little, well, that whole NFL honor is going to be really weird because none of the Chiefs are invited for any award whatsoever, but that's fine.
I think it's also before the Super Bowl.
It's a weird spot.
They're locked in.
Yeah, well, they'll be locked in. You could,
It's
Skype
gonna sit
in.
with him.
I mean,
There's no doubt.
So, go ahead.
Because I think people are wondering, I think he can get a Super Bowl. But a lot of people are now wondering that. Like, will this guy ever win a Super Bowl? And like I said, to me, he's got to find that mix between being who he is. He's not Patrick Mahomes. He's never going to be Patrick Mahomes. All right? He's going to have to do it differently. Yes, he improved as a passer, but you know.
But Brew, are you putting this, because earlier you're like, run more, Gus Edwards should run. Lamar's not calling all those plays. He
Well,
might be making he's making the decision
Right.
or scramble, but designed runs aren't there. So are you putting this on
I think he
Monken,
can
or are you putting
obviously
it on Lamar?
audible at the line of scrimmage. But even if he goes in at halftime or when they're off the field and says to the coaching staff, look, let's run the ball more. They respect Lamar.
Yeah.
And I think they will listen to him.
So with all that said, because he's the quarterback, because he's the MVP, he's going to get the lion's share of credit or blame. But you touched on it earlier. The Zay Flowers, forget the fumble. It wasn't just the fumble. Zay Flowers, I'm watching the pregame, and he's being interviewed. Obviously, it happened a few days ago. He's being interviewed, and they ask him about touchdown dances. And he's like, yeah, I had this one that was really good, that one. And he's asked, do you have one planned for the AFC title game? And he says yes. And that's swag surfing. That's mocking the Chiefs and Taylor Swift. That is what you're essentially doing there is mocking the wives and girlfriends of the Chiefs' best players. Really smart move. Good call. But, Brew, it was not then lost on me that they are, what are they doing right there, Brew? Literally. Brew, what are they doing?
Don't.
Brew, what are they doing?
They're dancing.
They're dancing.
No.
And then, what did L'Jarius Sneed do? He punched the ball out. So your Baltimore Ravens turned in, Brew, to some break dancers. The Chiefs turned the bullies into break dancers. Literal break dancers. Could you have ever seen it coming?
I could not have. I told you. I thought they just pulled up their pants and took the rock away.
No.
You know, sit on the side.
Sneed punched the ball. They were break dancers, and that is how your season ended. These fellas,
Ironically.
you never thought they'd be wearing this shade of purple. I mean, this is a longer routine than typical. But the fog might be
It's
a little
fair.
late.
Hey, look, it's fair.
They had a whole prepared routine, fellas. Great job as always.
Good job, fellas.
Thank you. See you next week.
I hope to see you under better
While
circumstances.
the
next
studio gets full of fog, I do have one other announcement to make. It's very important. We can't drop the banner yet. Wilds,
Yes.
I have a video for you.
Oh.
Uh-oh. Somebody. Oh,
Guys,
this is cruel.
play the video,
Somebody
please.
else.
This is Brett Veach, General Manager of the Kansas City Chiefs. Kevin Wildes, welcome back. You've officially been reinstated to Chiefs Kingdom.
Let's
Kevin
go.
Wildes, you
Oh,
are
in the
welcome
mirror.
back in the Chiefs' kingdom.
what I'm
We'll see
talking
you
about.
at the Super Bowl.
Wilds,
go.
drop the banner.
Let's go, I'm back.
Wilds, you're back. Bruce still toeless. Wilds,
I never left.
you're back.
I never left. I never left. I always believed. One game against the Patriots, that's it. I believed in Bailey's happy. I never left, and I'm back.
Wilds,
Fellas, I'll see you at the parade.
you're back, Wilds.
Oh, coming up next. I don't even know what we're talking about. Brock Purdy. We're back.
I did not expect that, Wild.
Oh, I'm
I thought you
excited.
were going to still be
Oh, I want to hear from Paul Rudd.